Happy Tuesday, and welcome to the Ramashram Satsang practice session, where you'll learn a modern Satsang technique for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like you to direct your attention towards the screen. You'll see the first element there is Satsang. Satsang is a modern scientific technique whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy. Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. No physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience is required to begin Satsang practice. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important element of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw our consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards and focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of Satsang, inner Satsang and outer Satsang. An example of outer Satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer Satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but it is only through the practice of inner satsang whereby we can obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. This practice session is structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But it is only through the practice of inner satsang whereby we can obtain higher states of consciousness such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a joyous state which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, instruction will be given on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, conducting satsang. Upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to hold satsang for satsangees. During that time, he has led efforts to translate important satsang literature into English. He has also worked to make satsang more accessible to Western audiences and English-speaking audiences. He has strived to clarify the meanings of yoga, satsang, and guru. He currently travels throughout the United States and India conducting satsang. Today, he will teach us a modern satsang technique for obtaining peace, light, and love. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
So, hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. One of those days when I personally need meditation. It's, work was kind of crazy. Next week, we will have a Saturday and Sunday session at 10 a.m. I think we will talk about worry and anxiety and how to tackle worry and anxiety through satsang, and then how to stay positive in toxic surroundings, toxic people, and so on and so forth. But today, I think, Yuan, let's play the benefits video after the meditation. I think let's get into it. I was just thinking that it's the simple things, they sometimes are hard to implement, but lot of the pieces that have come together in this practice, especially around energy and light. One, it's a fairly universal concept. Two, I was almost thinking as though when I look at the definition of God, I just feel like that, it's the white light and energy. Interestingly, at one point in time, you kind of start trying to understand, like, what is then why all these different definition, different names, different forms. And at one point I thought, like, if you look scientifically, the white light is made up of, so many colors, like the rainbow. The sunlight comes and it goes through reflection. Now suddenly becomes multiple colors come out of it. So it manifests in different ways. So the same energy could manifest in so many different ways. And I think I mentioned in recent sessions that I was listening to some video, and it is like the consciousness itself is one of the foundational forces, or like gravity. It's everywhere. That just resonated with me a lot. So everything, including completely inert things, have that consciousness. And so there is collective consciousness, and then people who are able to resonate, synchronize, unite in a different way than we all tried, become the energy. And since day one, the definition I have heard of satsang and what I have seen in some of the leaders is, once you become the energy, once you are, you transcend this, this whole, that logic actually stays behind. The language is also a lower thing. You get to a place where you feel that you are at a state which is hard to express, but then you try to bring other people with effort, and sometimes without effort. So the whole concept of satsang is just you connect and become that energy, and then just continue that cycle. That's all. So let's just try to do that. So again, and I have I had some posture issues because I was doing way too much work on my computer, and then I started doing some yoga, that too online. And if you get to an instructor, a guide, a mentor who actually knows what he is doing, it just makes such a difference. I was just telling him today, I'm so much better. So one of the things he does It's like he says, okay, first, close your eyes and, feel your body become still and calm. So relax your body. Make sure there is no stress anywhere. And then the next is breathing. So inhale and relax. Exhale and relax. So do that a couple of times. So make sure there is no stress, no unnecessary strain on any part of the body. So we want to be completely relaxed and in such a posture that we can stay still for next 20, 30 minutes. So then he says, okay, inhale and relax. Exhale and relax. Inhale. So observe your breathing and just relax. And then start watching your mind. And slowly and what I found was just observing your mind starts calming your mind. And now what you add is that you are in the presence of this transcendental energy, and it's in form of light, and that light is entering your heart. And from there, it's getting distributed throughout your body. So you're basically energizing every part of your body. You are enlightening this energy, this light is everywhere around you, inside you, in your heart. And you're becoming completely and totally immersed in this light. There's no other thought. There is no other action, no activity. Just this light that's everywhere, within and outside. Mind will wander away, but bring it back. That you're completely surrounded by this light. This light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are getting completely immersed in it. You can start the music now.
completed a session of meditation as described by our Guru, Param Sant Dr. Chaturput Sahayji. I will now briefly talk about the benefits of this practice. The word spiritual practice immediately evokes a reaction in most people of a task which is very difficult and may be thought of as somewhat of an abstract concept. Most of us believe that it would benefit us in some way, and it's a good thing to do, but we do not completely understand its positive contribution towards our everyday life. Also, there are always some people who are just focused on their day-to-day life and do not even contemplate upon the concept of spiritual advancement. They just want their everyday life to run smoothly and do not desire much more. The benefits of this meditation that we just completed are anything but an abstract concept. This practice of sitting quietly and focusing on the thought of light entering our heart, internalizing it, and letting it flow through our body for 15 to 20 minutes at a time, when performed regularly, improves us in multiple ways. It is a one-stop shop that positively impacts all aspects of our life, both worldly and spiritual. The primary goal of this practice certainly is spiritual advancement, but as we methodically practice it for days, months, and years on end, we also reap multiple benefits of a lot of byproducts of this practice, and this can energize every aspect of our life. So we can categorize the benefits into 3 buckets. As depicted in this slide, the physical benefits are the ones that improve physical health, are the first to come in. Then there are the benefits derived from a focused mind and also accumulating inner wisdom. But first, let's talk about health. I'm sure everyone agrees that our lives are very busy. At work, we are trying our best to be productive, meeting deadlines, working long hours. When we get home, there's dinner to be prepared. Weekends bring their own list of chores and demands. This constant demand on our time creates stress, which takes a toll on us physically by increasing the level of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol elevates the heart rate, and this has been linked to several ailments like elevated blood pressure, heart disease, anxiety, and insomnia. The benefits that just a few minutes of deep relaxation that come with meditation can bring to our physical health are undeniable. Several medical studies have documented the role of meditation in reducing stress and anxiety by decreasing cortisol levels, and this positively impacts our physical health. Next, we can talk about the benefits that stem from the practice of focusing our mind on one thought. The human mind is a very brilliant and remarkable machine. To harness all of its potential, it needs to be focused or concentrated. We know that water lying around in puddles is not capable of much, but that same water, when concentrated into a stream and focused onto turbines, can produce abundant electricity. An unfocused mind accomplishes much less than what it is capable of. Focusing the mind on one thought is exercise for the mind. And much like physical exercise strengthens our body, this practice of concentrating one's mind boosts our focus and energizes the mind. This helps us to perform better in whatever worldly pursuit we are engaged in. If someone is a student, it would help them grasp subtle concepts. At work, it would help us become more efficient and productive. And this also makes us more resilient. In all spheres of life, generally, our ability to tackle complex and difficult situations is greatly enhanced, resulting in a much more improved life experience. And not only does meditation boost focus, it also makes us internally more peaceful by calming the so-called monkey mind. As we were hearing before, our mind is constantly bombarded by thoughts, either dwelling in the past or thinking about the future. This disturbs our peace. A focused mind becomes capable of stopping this barrage of thoughts and concentrates its energy on the present. This instills within us a sense of peace, which gradually builds with continuous practice. Lastly, and most importantly, let us talk about the benefits of meditating on light that ultimately builds inner wisdom. The internalizing of divine light is what really transforms us as a person. Session by session, day by day, and year by year, this practice of 15 to 20 minutes slowly instills an inner wisdom or knowledge. This wisdom guides us in making the right choices, selecting appropriate behaviors, and helps us better understand our duty towards the people around us. As a consequence, our self-awareness increases, we become better family members, better co-workers, better neighbors, and better citizens in general. Our behavior towards others improves, resulting in others treating us better. The practice transforms us internally and instills in us happiness, patience, tolerance, and also creates a sense of internal detachment. The challenges of life do not necessarily disappear. The setbacks in life are not necessarily reversed, but this accumulating inner wisdom recalibrates our mind so that we no longer feel the pain and disappointment associated with these events. A sense of inner happiness and joy always prevails, no matter what we are experiencing. This is the highest form of benefit one derives from this practice. Disciplined practice over time results in a gradual accumulation of this inner wisdom or knowledge, and this brings peace, joy, happiness, and bliss, and keeps advancing us slowly but surely towards the ultimate goal. Namaskar.
Yeah, happy Tuesday, everyone. Every time I listen to these benefits, it's like, yeah, it's still ways to go. But I have seen these in action in people, and not once, but not twice, multiple times. And that inspires me that I can get there and you all can get there. In Ashtanga Yoga, there is, yam, niyam, asanas, pranayams, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So samadhi is like the resulting higher consciousness. And I was thinking about, I have been with these people who really live at this higher level of consciousness, but I never understood, so what is samadhi? What am I supposed to see in them? They look like normal people. Yes, there is a lot of peace surrounding them and all that. And they are, as one of the things at the end in this video we heard was, even keel, like not too happy, not too sad in different situations where we will go up and down quite a bit. So actually, that is what, Guru Maharaj defines as samadhi, where everything is in balance. He says that living a life which is, it's almost like you live like an observer. You are not perturbed too much in a positive or negative direction. That is the resultant, effect, or that's what the real, and that, another saint, Kabir Das ji, he was pretty deep. His one-liners were like so deep that you can write a chapter on each one of those. He called it Sahaj Samadhi, which is natural samadhi. So natural samadhi would be, the way he describes, is that I don't have to close my eyes, I don't have to close my ears, I don't have to, I just walking, talking, listening, I am in that state. And that state is that Sahaj Samadhi. So think of, if when we go into meditation and we actually, not all the time we stay with that transcendental energy, but whenever that connection happens, you feel like different, like really different. And if you could live like that, day in and day out, breath in and breath out, wow, that will be the ultimate goal of satsang. So what do you say to that, Eddie?
Yes, I think probably each of us at some point in our life maybe have experienced just a brief moment of Sahaj Samadhi, and it is so pleasant, right? I mean, there's nothing like it. So, to attain that state and to be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is something pretty phenomenal, and it's something definitely worthwhile experiencing and striving towards, striving to achieve. So, I think that's just the ultimate state.
Yeah. So I always feel Deborah is sitting nicely. Why should I bother her to get close to the microphone? And Kelly, I don't know if you have the microphone, or you could just send in a text. Oh, no. And Onkar has his video on. Namaskar. Hello. Oh, are you trying to unmute? There you go. So Callie says, greetings to everyone. Yeah. Yeah, now you're unmuted, Deborah, if you were planning to speak.
Shivangi, let's see your beautiful face today. Oh
So,
my God.
oh,
I came back from India yesterday and
see.
I have such,
There. Oh,
Oh.
look how lovely.
So
See?
she's completely jet lagged, huh?
yes,
Hmm.
yes, I slept through the entire meditation session.
Oh
As,
my goodness.
Well, something to be said for honesty. Right?
I've been up since 3 a.m. I'm still on India time. I need to adjust.
Wow.
How are you? How are you doing?
Good. Good. Are you? I know this probably isn't on our subject, but I was curious if you are, Sanjeev, if you are a vegetarian.
Yes, I am.
Also,
Yeah, it's
Fangi, are you? Yes.
Yeah, I'm a vegetarian too.
Ankar?
yeah, he's too.
I am a vegetarian too.
That's my trouble. No, I thought you might be. Whatever. So.
You know, interestingly, and this is just, now that you asked, it just reminded me. So, there are, so my surname is so difficult to pronounce and spell that I dropped it in high school in India. Okay.
Wow.
It's Kul Shresht. So just to.
I'm out.
Yes, exactly. So everybody would misspell it, mispronounce it. So I'm like, I don't need it. So it's a community. The surname is like, in northern India, it's they are known to drink and eat meat like, it's just I don't think I would call them party people, but it's like, but so in that backdrop, my grandfather's entire tree till the recent, I think this current generation, including like my son decided to play football, and then he needed protein, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So the thing is, his entire, like, I mean, my uncles, my aunts, it's like this way, that way. It was just amazing that in that backdrop, and I don't know, it was not really forced, because that community, drinking and eating meat is not normal. It is like, they are, it's just part and parcel of, life. But, everybody around my grandfather. So, yeah. Very, very.
I know two Indian women who live in my community here, and they're both over 80. And and they're so lovely. And one is 85, and she was I guess it's OBGYN, and she delivered like hundreds and hundreds of children in our city. I mean, so many people you meet, they say, oh, I live with Gita. And they say, oh, she delivered my daughter or whatever. I mean, she worked for, I don't know, 50, 60 years. And I don't know what she does every day, but she does more stuff than I do. She's 85. And I've asked her to do things before, teach me how to cook certain Indian things, and asked her if she meditates, or asked her to do something. She said, no, I can't. I've been meeting a meditation group, which is now Zoom, right? 85. I know she's on Zoom meditation. Every Thursday, she cannot do anything else. That's her thing. And all I can tell you is she is the most lovely human being to be around.
Wow.
She is just so like her most positive energy and smiling and laughing, and had knee surgery, smiling, glowing. I mean, I don't know, but I admire her, the way she is, her energy so much. She's just lovely. And I know that she eats meat. And the other woman who's also lovely, who's also a doctor, 2 doctors, women, you know, the other, Taru, is vegetarian or whatever. So, and they both are beautifully healthy and just beautiful. When you speak to them, I don't know, they're just, I can't explain how lovely it is to be around them. So anyway, they're my idols.
Yeah, I see. I don't talk that much about the effect of food on us, but there are, you know, the more we age, we realize that what we eat has pretty significant effect on us. And so interestingly, your spiritual advancement and your spiritual growth has a tie there too.
Of course.
And it's a pretty integral piece as well. So what I find is this: it's like you know, we all want to look at something black and white, but there is always, you know, there are extremes, and then there is a lot in the middle. And let's say you eat anything. If you eat in the right quantity or you eat less, I think you can probably, you know, you know, and I can, however, even, so one aspect is like the quantity itself, which I think Americans, and in America, it's like everything is supersized, right? I don't think food should be supersized. Food should be very carefully eaten, when, what, and even like, and you know, interestingly, a lot of people here, I mean, when you do strength training, you have to follow a regimen. So once you start looking at these things, everything needs to have a sequence, has to, you know, quantity matters, calories matter, et cetera, but then, you know, who really has researched, like, what's the spiritual impact of those things, right? So eating less, but I think if you go back to some ancient Indian literature, they talk about kandamul phal, so roots, fruits, and vegetables were, you know, said to be like very sattvic, or like positively energizing food, right? So again, the thing is, if you're eating a little bit and not over exerting, then you can manage, you can mitigate, even like if the effect is somewhat negative, but if it's controlled, then you can mitigate those aspects. But everything you eat has, you know, even like in Ayurveda, there is like something that heats you up, something that's cold in nature, and so. And I'm telling you, you just once you understand those aspects, you will see that's so true. The impact of food is sometimes very immediate, and it affects what you're thinking, more than we understand and we realize.
Well, I think when you start kind of asking this kind of questions, or even seeking, I don't know, meditation, or asking these kind of deeper spiritual questions, that it's got to come with a sense of your life, or your life's energy, as like a holy gift, right? So right? It's gotta be. It's not a particular religion. It's like a miracle that's not even based on religion. And so what do you do with the gift? What do you put in? What do you put inside your gift? I guess more important is maybe that you're asking the question, and the same sense of seeking that makes me want to come back here every week. I'm not saying I'm eating a holy diet, but I think about it, and I'm interested in different properties of Ayurveda and herbs, and in anti-inflammatory turmeric, and things that people in India have been eating for years, and even Chinese herbs and things that people use. It just interests me. So to me, it sort of comes together as one thing.
And we have somebody who is so deep into it. So Eddie, what's your take on because he studied Chinese medicine in a deep way. Yeah.
Fascinating.
No, I mean, I think you all have the right idea. Food is a big part of our health. Is food and weather, food and the climate that you live in. So depending on the climate, hello. So depending on the climate you live in, you want to eat foods that basically support that environment. So an example would be if you live in cold climates, you obviously then want to eat warmer foods, right? If you eat cold foods, it causes damage to the body. It's that combination of food and climate that really is the source and cause of our illnesses, believe it or not. So very, very important. And just like Sanjeev said, depending on the type of food you eat, it affects your growth, your development, and your well-being, because all food eventually turns into who you are, turns into your cells, and it depends, and it affects how well they operate and this sort of thing. So if you eat foods that are heavy and more phlegmy, like your milks and your cheeses and things like that, if you eat a lot of those type of foods, it makes you sluggish. It makes your thinking sluggish. If you eat foods that are more,
makes sense.
If you eat foods that are more aromatic and light, then you tend to be a little quicker in your thinking and a little sharper. But everything overall has to always be in balance. You always want to make sure things are in balance, and then they keep this idea that you have to eat appropriately with the seasons and eat appropriately for the climate that you live in, and you will be healthy.
Yeah.
Interesting topic to me, or whatever. So thank you.
Yeah, this one is pretty deep. And one thing, it just reminded me that sometimes people would come like, I don't find time to meditate and so on and so forth. So my grandfather wrote a chapter on that. And so basically he said, okay, there are 4 times that you can utilize to either support your practice or make it deeper, or even like while you days and weeks you can't meditate, you could just still keep the continuum. So those 4 times he said was, so one of them was while having food. His view was that if you think while eating, so we are meditating on this transcendental energy and this light, and we're energizing ourselves, we're filling up our heart with it. So think of your food filled up with that energy. And when you eat it, you are consuming that energy and, food. So when you meditate, it's this much time, but when you consume food which is energized, it will live within you for longer. And as Eddie was saying, that's what, it kind of becomes you. It goes into the blood and so on and so forth. So that was one thing. Then second, he said, so that's what I remembered. And then that chapter was more about the times when you can, create this supportive activities. One was when you're having food. Second was before sleeping. So before sleeping, if you sleep as though you're sleeping in this amazingly, uplifting and positive energy, most probably you'll have better sleep. But also it becomes almost like, quote unquote, a lightly meditative sleep. And that he talks very, very, very positively about. And then, the third was like when you don't have anything else to do and like you are sitting somewhere or you're waiting for something or, those times, he said, just, kind of convert that time into your, so it's not like deep meditation, but you just think about, you are connecting to the source of this transcendental energy, and and the fourth time was when you're walking or working out. You could, it's just lightly think about the same process is on. And eventually what happens, which I have seen, and I think my father used to talk about that a lot, that it should become a background process. And the background process is continually energizing you while you are getting affected by situations, people, the day's stuff. But your channeling and your continual refresh of the energy continues through that background process. So that's how. So if you kind of cover these 4 times to not only support your practice, then actually what you're doing is like you're starting living a very, meditative life. Like when I look at Dalai Lama, for example, he comes and gives a speech, but he's like, so just looking at him, it's like, whoa.
There's a brand new documentary about a time when the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, who are been friends for years and years and years. A new documentary I just watched that they've only met in person like 6 times. Have you ever seen this? It's on Netflix or something, or Amazon or something. You can watch it now. And they have this amazing, symphony between them, and they're joking, and they're just, it's the most beautiful, it's a really unusual documentary. But what you were talking about in Buddhism, like this kind of walking meditation, zazen, or walking meditation, is for me, when we're talking about food, there's something that I do when I am preparing food, like chopping vegetables, like chopping a lot of vegetables, that there's something kind of, if you see it that way, there's something kind of meditative about it.
Yeah.
And that you're like using all your senses of smell and the sound and that sound of the chopping, and I don't know, everything about it, like one focus on just fully like experiencing chopping vegetables. I know, I'm sure you guys, come on, tell me you're with me. You're not just,
No,
you don't think I'm crazy, right?
so that reminds me of another chapter. He talks about, it's not just the food you eat, how it is prepared has a lot to do with, what will be the effect on you. So that is why I sometimes, when I see that in churches, mosques, and temples, there's always something to do with food. Because when you prepare it in a positive environment with and what you were describing, so the way you're describing, once you are in that positive, the whole environment is positive, the food cooked that way has a positive impact on you. So he writes about that too. So and he actually gives some. So I mean, I eat out a lot, and I sometimes wonder, like, maybe that's why I'm. It's like, if it is prepared in, so he actually gives examples where food was prepared in a certain way, and the person, felt kind of strange after that, and then they found out that the person who was cooking was in, anyway. So
they had bad juju. Got it. Yeah, I think it matters, and when you cook for, like from your heart, and share that food with other people, it's all in there. It's gotta be.
Yeah. And that is why, when I, this is becoming quite a thing. A lot of people are talking about that consciousness is not just where we see, it's everywhere. It's so even like the food you eat, the, and it's the nature is all full of it, and so on and so forth. So it's, it's kind of interesting that how, but bottom line is that there are multiple ways to create a life that will eventually lead to having a lifestyle that drives you to be peaceful and people around you to be peaceful.
In fairness, I am retired and I have a lot of time for chopping. So I realize and respect that I never used to. So it's I'm lucky, but it's something that is part of I don't know, like to take this, like you were talking about in the beginning, or the benefits, like to sit and meditate is one thing, but to take that feeling or that way of what you're trying to cultivate and bring it, pull it through the day, you know?
No, actually, because, if you start talking about that the day one, I mean, people will, run away. But I think that's the ultimate goal, right? So that is what is integrating meditation in your lifestyle. It's not just that you meditate, you actually, so that ideally, and I think that also is probably described in some ways, is like you start your day, you first do a deep meditation, 10-15 minutes, which energizes you, replenishes your energy, and then you go through the day. Some of it dissipates, some of it is is saved, and then at the end of the day you replenish, right? You meditate again for 10-15 minutes, and that cycle, if that continues, I'm telling you, even if you do this for a couple of weeks, few weeks, and then you will not want to live any different than that. Literally, it's like what happens. I have heard this from many, many, many people, especially, India is culturally different, but it should be the same in so many ways. Like you come to satsang, you get this connection, this feeling, this, uplifting energy just does something. And then you continually want to have that, and that craving, that desire, that sometimes it's like you're seeking that. So it happens initially, then it vanishes because you have to come back to it. So the group energy sometimes takes you higher than what you normally can, and then you would kind of struggle through some time, and then you will get to a more steady state. And that steady state once, but again, in his 7-volume book, he also talks about like all the slipping and sliding that continues to happen, because there are so many ways that we as humans just get knocked out by distractions, by desires, by emotions, and the list is long.
So in this documentary, just to pull it through, that with the Dalai Lama, I just watched it like a week ago, and Desmond Tutu. What we're talking about or doing every week is working obviously on ourselves, but the end goal has got to be like cultivating like a heart full of love and compassion, which then is service, and compassion in the world.
So my and maybe let me see if I can express this right. If your heart is full of this transcendental energy, heartfulness, what happens is that what I have seen, like practically for real, is once you get to that point, you don't have to do anything to bring people to peace. You don't have to do anything to make people uplifted. So your state becomes very infectious to a point where people even if they don't like you, will feel like Dalai Lama. I mean, I'm not even in front of him. I just see his face, and it just, it's very, it has an effect, right?
That's how the gynecologist Gita is. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be around her. She just feels so good to be around.
Exactly. And I think this is what you get once you, and spiritual advancement happens in so many different ways, right? There are thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands, millions of ways in which you can uplift yourself. And a lot of times people don't even know how, how much growth has happened, because, humility and other things also grow along the way. And a lot of times we don't realize that probably is more naturally, there, in the sense that that's more natural for us to be in that state. So while we have to unlearn a lot of things and the effect of the culture and all that, but personally, for you yourself, you will find that that's where you want to be. That's what is really natural to you. So
did you say that you are an IT guy at Tyson, like Tyson Chicken?
No. Tyson's Corner in Northern Virginia here.
Okay. I wonder if he eats chicken. I bet he doesn't.
No.
You figure those Tyson people, the chicken people, they must need IT guys too.
Yeah, they must do too. But
I bet they don't eat the chicken.
Yeah, I'm more with Freddie Mac, with the
okay,
mortgage folks.
Okay. Definitely more spiritual than chicken.
I don't think financials have anything spiritual around them. But yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for putting up with me again this week.
No, it was a nice, I think what happens is, like, I just feel that when these conversations happen, it just brings out some of these aspects. Otherwise, they, sometimes are just things that I want to talk about, but I don't really do.
Yeah, I've been known to be like truth serum. So, all right. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. And have
Shivangi, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. I'm pretty awake after this great discussion now.
Okay.
I want to continue.
So Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right? So
is it the same link?
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday at 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. Welcome back, Shivangi.
Thanks, Eddie. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Kelly. So see you then.